Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey if you're new here, and if you are new here, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I wish I was coming here with better news. As you read about the title, I failed the new generation NCLEX. I'm very surprised I failed the NCLEX, but I think I had a lot of things probably like contributing to why I failed the NCLEX. Not the best news, definitely not the best news, but it's something that I've learned to deal with, I feel like, over the past few weeks. And something that I've had to kind of like adjust to, because it was very surprising for me because I studied so hard and I put in a lot of work, not only in nursing school, but also preparing for the NCLEX. So I was so surprised when I got my results back. But when I was taking the test, it was kind of like, I kind of knew. I failed. Anyway, I'm gonna give y'all a backstory leading up into how I failed the NCLEX, how my NCLEX experience went, and maybe I can help anybody who's going to take the new generation NCLEX. So I graduated nursing school May 5th, and I took about a month and a half off to prepare for the NCLEX. I graduated May 5th. I took a week off. I was on vacation, of course, celebrating graduation. And then from there, I started slowly getting into my study routine. I will say the first mistake I probably made is I didn't have like a very solid study calendar compared to what I have now. Like right now, I have a very strategic study calendar. Like every day I know what I'm doing. I know everything that I'm studying. Versus before, it was just like, okay, study every day, but it wasn't like a complete study plan. So I definitely recommend getting a study plan if you don't have a study plan. I slowly started studying and I was using UWorld, Kaplan, and Saunders. I had the Saunders app on my phone. You can get free questions on Saunders. Just like do those sometimes. And I ended up completing all of them actually and doing really good on Saunders. So then I had Kaplan. My school actually used Kaplan. I know some nursing schools, they use like ATI, softwares like HESI and ATI. But my school used Kaplan. The way that it worked is a couple days before we graduated, we actually had like a Kaplan prep course. Last semester in school, we were actually taking like Kaplans to prepare for the NCLEX. So we were already taking like all these different Kaplans to prepare for the NCLEX. And then a couple days before graduation, we actually had somebody come into the school and go over different test taking strategies with us, different tips for testing, like just a whole bunch of different stuff. My school, they put us actually on a Kaplan study plan. And like I said, I used it, but not to the T. Like I kind of like made it my own, I guess. Like I knew every day to study, but I didn't follow that Kaplan schedule to the T. So I think that is one of the first points where I messed up. I used UWorld's QBank. I didn't use any of the new gen tests on UWorld. I actually borrowed UWorld from my classmate and she said I could use as many QBank questions as I needed. So I would do a lot of QBank questions. Like I did a lot of QBank questions and I really like UWorld for the rationales. I would just do QBank questions every day on UWorld. I was still working at the time over the summer. So I was still working after I graduated. And I worked night shift at the hospital. So when I got free time, most of the time I was like studying for the NCLEX. And like I said, I had the UWorld and Saunders apps both on my phone. In my spare time, I was doing questions and trying to prepare the best I could for the NCLEX. The Kaplan I used for school, I could only utilize on my computer. So outside of work and on my own time, my own study schedule, then I would utilize Kaplan. I think Kaplan is really good. I think it is very, very hard. I think it's way harder than the NCLEX. Kaplan is really good. They have all the new gen software. So they have all the drag and drop. They have all the bow tie style questions. They have like all the select, all that applies. So Kaplan is a really, really good resource if you're looking for something to study. Like I said, I did a lot of QBank questions on UWorld, and then when it came to Kaplan, I took all 3 of their CAT exams. I passed all 3 of them. A couple QBank questions from Kaplan as well, but they would be a little more focused exams. Like I will focus on pharmacology, I'll focus on health promotion and maintenance. I'll focus on like areas that I really know that I need to hone in on, because when you're on UWorld and you're on Kaplan and you're on Saunders, they will tell you the areas that you're weak in. So I would make sure on Kaplan specifically that I would hone in on those areas, and then I would take the CAT exams and then I would take the question trainers. They had like a lot of mock NCLEX exams, and I was literally passing all of these with percentiles that I needed. So I was feeling really, really good, really, really confident. At this time, I'm ready to take the NCLEX. So my NCLEX was scheduled for June 30th at 8 a.m. I think that's red flag number 2 because I'm not a morning person, and I scheduled my NCLEX an hour away from where I live, but I did schedule it in my hometown. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home, stay with my parents, wake up in the morning and take the NCLEX. That was my plan in my mind. So like I said, I was pretty much ready to take the NCLEX, everything like that. Things were good. I had packed up my car. I'm ready to take the NCLEX, y'all. Like, I'm literally ready to take the NCLEX, right? So I pack up my car. I'm like, okay, I'm about to go home, go to my parents' house, prepare for this NCLEX, get a good night's rest. Y'all, tell me why I get into a car accident the night before the NCLEX. I get into a car accident, y'all. I totaled my car the night before the NCLEX. I guess the way that Pearson VUE is set up, you cannot cancel your test 24 hours before. I got into a car accident and I was, of course, on the phone with my insurance. And it was like late, y'all. I was up with the insurance all night, up with the police. Of course, I had to get a police report. I had to get a police statement. It was just a hot mess, y'all. And my whole front of my car is like destroyed. I'm like, should I get a rental? Should I get a rental? Didn't have time to get a rental because, you know, like the rental places are only open in the morning. I have to take this test, so I didn't have time for all of that. I literally drove an hour in my total car. My little car was pushing, y'all. I pushed it down the highway, pushed it down the expressway. And I was like, this is gonna be part of my journey. This is gonna be part of my story. Like, I was feeling like defeated, but like still trying to be positive. Like, I was not trying to let the negative energy really get in my way. I was not trying to like let the negative energy overcome me. So I was just like, it's all good. Like, we gonna still pass this test. So the next morning I wake up, it's like 6 in the morning. I'm feeling pumped, y'all. I had on my little sweatshirt that said nurse. Girl, feeling real pumped, real motivated. Like, I'm ready to take this NCLEX. Had some good breakfast, had me some coffee, and I drive to the testing center. I walked in at 7:30. They say be 30 minutes ahead, but it was some people there. I guess the people who I was testing with, like, they were there. Like, they were probably there at like 7 o'clock. I pulled up at 7:30 and I thought I was early. So I was like, okay, well, I was like the last one to actually check in and everything. Everybody was still like sitting down. People were still getting called up and getting all their stuff checked in or whatever. I checked in and I was the last one to actually walk into the testing center. So, you know, they checked me, checked my hair, checked my clothes, checked everything. He logs me in. He gives me my whiteboard with my marker and I pray and I start the test. Oh, I'm feeling real good at first. I'm like, okay, like, we got this. I took one break. It stops you in the middle and it's like, hey, you could take one break. So I take one break. I go to the bathroom and I'm kind of like, ooh. When I get up, I feel like I realized like, okay, this is a lot once I went to the bathroom. Like, I was like, ooh. I was like, the NCLEX. Ooh, okay. I was like, this is what we doing. So I remember going to the bathroom stall and I prayed again. And then I walked back in and I was like, okay, we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish. So I wasn't even at 85 when I took my first break. Let me back up and say that. I wasn't even at 85 questions when I took my first break. I go back in. I can't remember what question I was on because I turned off the amount of questions because that gives me anxiety. Like, if I see I'm getting close to 85, I'm gonna start getting antsy. I'm gonna be ready to go. So I'm taking my test. I was like, this test is really starting to get long. So I actually hit the question thing just to see what question I'm on. And I think it was like 83. I just kept it on. If you're doing real good or real bad, it will cut off at 85. So I'm thinking my test's gonna cut off. I'm like, 85 questions, like, we're about to cut off. I hit like 83, 84, and I'm at 85. It goes to 86. And I'm like, y'all, like the disappointment that came with 86, my heart jumped out of my chest when I hit 86. Like, at that moment I was like, ooh, like, I'm not gonna lie, my anxiety got terrible. Like, my anxiety was horrible. And when I saw 86, oh my gosh, I remember like heart pounding. I'm starting to get antsy, like anxiety going up. Like, I'm just very, very anxious at that point. I'm continuing on and on and on. I get to 90, I'm like, dang. I get to 100, I'm like, dang. But you know what? The thing that kept me hopeful is the test did not turn off on me, y'all. Like, I went all the way to 150, but the further and further, I remember getting to 125, I'm like anxious. And they have cameras on you as well. Like, they have cameras on you. You're in like a little cubicle area. So I'm just like antsy. I'm anxious, y'all. I'm just like low-key flipping out, but just trying. And I'm just now starting to think about my car. I'm starting to think about everything I've been through. I'm like, what if I really fail this exam? Like, my anxiety is getting the best of me. Like, at this point, y'all, my anxiety is getting the best of me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So I make it all the way to 150. The test proctor comes up to me and he's like, I guess he read it on my face. He was like, are you okay? I was just like, at this point, I'm just like, I'm ready to go. Like, I didn't say that to him, but I'm ready to, like, please, can we do whatever you got to do so I can get out of here and cry my eyes out. At this point, at 150, I was like, I failed. Like, and the way I knew it failed, y'all, is because it starts off easy. Then the questions are getting harder. Then the questions are getting easy. Then it's getting harder. Then it's getting easy. then it's getting harder, and then it's getting easier. And by the time I got to 150, y'all, it was such an easy question. I remember the last like 3 questions were easy, y'all. Like they were easy questions. So I was like, yeah, I failed. Like at that point, I knew I failed. Comes to me and he's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, and so he grabs all my materials. And so he's like, come out here and talk to me. He was so nice. Like the proctor was real nice because like I said, I was the last one. So I had time to actually talk to them as they were checking everybody in. So I was really like talking to them before I even took my test because like I was the last one. I didn't say anything to him. I was just like, And so he was like, well, you know that you can retake it. He was like, it's going to be okay. He was like, just because you got 150 doesn't mean you failed. Like, it's going to be okay. I knew I was going to cry. Like, I'm holding back my tears at this point. Like, I knew I was going to cry. And so I walk out and it's like another girl. And you can tell, like, people are looking at me like, are you okay? But they don't want to say, are you okay? I get to the lobby, I get to my car, and I bust out in tears. I was devastated. Like, your girl was down bad. I was down bad. I actually had a vacation planned for that weekend because I took the NCLEX on a Friday. So I went on the trip that weekend and was an anxious mess. I enjoyed myself, but was just not myself, if that makes sense. Like I was enjoying myself, but I wasn't Casey. Like if you know me, then you know me. I wasn't 100% myself. Get back from the trip on Monday morning and I checked my results and it said failed. And I pretty much knew that. Like, I kind of knew that, but I was trying to, like, lie to myself and, like, tell myself, like, girl, you didn't fail this test. But I pretty much knew that. And, yeah, I was down bad that whole week. I was just sad, like, just sad girl. Very much sad girl. Hurt when I didn't get into nursing school undergrad, but it really, really hurt when I didn't pass the NCLEX. I just really sacrificed a lot for this degree. So, for me not to have passed the NCLEX, it was just like, wow. Like, my program was 15 months. I commuted an hour to school every day. I moved to Charlotte. Like I just sacrificed, I felt like so much for that degree. So for me not to pass was like literally devastating. No relationship can ever hurt my feelings the way my career has hurt my feelings. Like, oh my gosh, nursing, just that's the only thing that gets me my feelings. My friend on the trip, that's what she had told me. She was just like, you're not a sad girl. Like she was like, only time I really see you sad is when it comes to nursing. I know I can retake it, y'all, but it's just like everything that I put into it is just like, you just want the results that you want, you know? And so I was just like really, really sad, but I gave myself a week, talked to my teacher. My teacher helped me formulate like a new study plan, purchased Archer, started studying, started taking notes, started going 10 times harder. And yeah, here we are now. I've received my CPR report, paid for a new test. When I got my CPR report, I want to say it was like 15 different categories. Basically all of them were near passing. I got a few above passing and I got like a few below passing. But majority of them, 75% of them were near passing. So that makes me feel better. Like when I saw my CPR report, that showed me like I didn't bomb it, you know? And even when I talked to my teacher, like we were going over it and she was just like, you were probably just literally borderline. She was giving me new study tips, things to change. I know in pharmacology, I did get below passing on pharm. That's an area that I've definitely been working on 10 times harder with pharmacology. And when I retake it, I know now what to expect. I'm walking into it expecting 150 questions. I'm walking into it with no expectations. I'm walking into it totally different, just totally different. I need to walk into it more confident, more ready. And I think this time off has really prepared me for what's to come. It was really, really tough. And in the beginning, I didn't understand, but I believe God puts you through everything for a reason. I just don't believe that God brought me this far to now just drop me and be like, oh, you're done. No, I've had some time off to rest, to prepare. And I know that God has something better in store for me. It's opened me up to different opportunities, better opportunities. I'm happy that I can be a voice for people who may have failed the NCLEX or people who are going to take their NCLEX who have any questions or anything like that. I rescheduled and I feel like I am ready. So anything that I need to put aside, any distractions that I had to put aside, I just put aside. And I've just been only locked into this test for the past few weeks. Like that's the only thing I've been doing, just only focusing on this test. I also been using Mark K's lectures, so those are really, really good. He has all of his lectures online on YouTube. I listened to those the first time as well. I definitely listened to Mark K the first time, but this time I had his notes as well, so I used Mark K. It's just gonna be better next time, y'all. I promise it's gonna be better. I'm doing better. I'm feeling better. Mentally, I had to take a break though. Like sometimes you just have to step away, and that's what I had to do. Sometimes you need like humbling life experiences and like moments like this just to pull you back. to center. So definitely keep y'all updated on how everything goes. I love that I can document my journey on YouTube because a lot of y'all were there for me when I was still undergrad and I didn't get into nursing school. Now I've graduated nursing school, but I didn't pass the NCLEX. I was unsuccessful. And also I know a lot of people have a lot of questions on the new gen NCLEX. I got a lot of case studies on my new gen NCLEX. Like, it was a lot of case studies. So just prepare for those. I've been using, like I said, Mark K, Simple Nursing, Archer, watching different videos. I feel like I'm going to be ready when the time comes. And even if I'm not ready, guess what? I can take it again. It's not the end of my journey. It's only the beginning. So yes, y'all, that's pretty much my story on me not passing the NCLEX. And like I said, I'm preparing to retake it. Thank you guys for rocking with me for this long because I know it's been a ride with me. It's been a journey with me. Like, it's always something new with me. So thank you guys for sticking around with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. You know what other videos that you want to see. I will keep you guys updated like I said. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.